One Piece and Pokemon card collectors, welcome back to another video. It looks like One Piece is donezo. It is done with. That's what we heard from PokeNE. PokeNE, an obvious One Piece hater, compared it to MetaZoo, which an apples to oranges comparison at best, but I digress. So we have got two new distributors that are going to be coming out with One Piece cards, and it's Peach State and Southern Hobby. Big ones. Huge distribution here. So what does that mean for current sets? We know what it means for future sets. It definitely means the print runs are going to be higher for sets moving forward, but are they going to reprint a lot of the sets that have already happened? I think that is the billion-dollar question here. Are they going to go back, print more stuff of the newly released? Will this be the end of One Piece? So I heard this first on a live stream that Brian, PokeNE, and PokeProfit were doing together. And basically it was hinted that there was going to be a new distributor. Didn't know who it was at that point. And then we heard from a non-TCG who it was, and it is going to be Southern Hobby coming in and distributing these products. Bandai has ruined card games in the past. They've overprinted card games in the past. And I think that's really kind of the big concern, I think, for some people for getting into One Piece is Bandai going to do what they've done in the past and just kind of go crazy? But this could set up for an interesting scenario. One being, if they don't do a whole lot of reprinting of the original sets, let's say it's the first 10 sets or the first 13 sets or whatever it is, then those sets in particular could be big time collectibles as we move into the future. I mean, think about that. Think if they just leave that alone and just kind of keep supply where it is, and then maybe from 14 or 15 on or whatever, they've got a lot more volume. And does the demand meet that volume? That's going to be the other piece. The other one piece is that will there be enough demand if they increase those print runs? Will there be enough demand to meet that extra supply? Right now, there certainly is, but again, One Piece is not Pokemon. It has been around a long time, the anime has, but the TCG, still a few years old, hasn't proven itself in the same way. And will we see more of the rip and shippers on the One Piece side? Will One Piece join the Pokemon rip and ship game? Because that would be an absolute game changer. There is no denying that the One Piece cards themselves are fantastic looking. The mangas, some of the treasure rares, those cards are really awesome. And so I think if you're a One Piece collector, this is an interesting time. For the people that got into it early on, they're now starting to see everything getting priced up, and it might be like, oh man, now we've got more participants, everything costs more, and that's not really great news. On the other hand, if you're someone that's holding sealed, if you're buying to hold it and then sell it, if it's somewhat of an investment for you, then this is kind of the best case scenario. Is you're seeing demand with One Piece. One Piece is certainly having a moment. Will that continue? Will there be more people that get on the One Piece train? I can tell you from the sports card side, there are sports card folks like myself. I bought about 25 booster boxes of One Piece over the last few weeks, and there are going to be more of people like me that are looking at other options outside of Pokemon cards, sports cards, other collectibles. One Piece is an interesting one. There's an interesting value proposition. The characters are cool too. As I've dug in more and I've looked at the cards, the characters are cool. It's got a great backstory. It's got a strong IP, and the cards look really good. Most importantly, the cards are fantastic looking. No, I'm not just talking about the anime boobs ones. Everyone's going nuts over that. I heard that there's a guy that runs a card show that it wasn't allowing One Piece sales for this reason. And that kind of made me harken back to the days of Garbage Pail Kids cards, where it became more and more popular because it wasn't allowed in schools, because parents were freaking out about Garbage Pail Kids. And I'm wondering if the same sort of thing could happen with One Piece. This collectibles market is like nothing we have ever seen before here in 2026, and it just seems to continue to power forward, even though we are seeing some strains on the economic side. In the United States, there are a lot of things that are humming along, but we do have a new Fed chair that's going to take over for Powell. Markets are already kind of reacting to him. They're not sure exactly what to make of him and what that's going to mean for speculative assets like this. Bitcoin took a huge dump this week, still dumping. At time of recording, it's at 65,000. It's way down. Keep in mind, 6 months ago, it got up to 125,000. It got up to its all-time high. It's basically cut in half. So we will have to see what happens to speculative assets, and this would fall into that bucket: One Piece, Pokemon cards, trading cards, collectibles. The difference being, I think, though, is that there is a love for the collectibles, for those items, whereas Bitcoin is just a store of value. It's just something that people own because it's like they're treating it like digital gold. I'm just going to buy it, hold it. And that's why I've got it. I don't sit there and, wow, I'm just really enjoying my Bitcoin. You just buy it and hold it. And that's kind of what you do. So that's what we've got today, friends. We got a lot of stuff going on. Is this the end for One Piece? Is One Piece going to now flail around? There's going to be too much supply? Or is the demand going to be there for this? Is there going to be more opportunities? Maybe the additional supply opens it up for rip and shippers. If One Piece hits the rip and shippers, or whoever goes out and does the One Piece rip and ship and gets that going, I think that is going to do really, really well. But we'll see. Friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.